Hi, I'm Bunny or Gun Bunny, and welcome to my channel. This channel is about my journey through guns and cosplay. So if you haven't seen much of my channel, you probably don't know about the Glock'nStock. So go check that out. It's my competition stocked pistol. And what's really cool about it is that it's able to be holstered. But there was something we realized that was causing a little bit of an issue with the way that it was holstered, in terms of what I can't really reholster it once I pull the stock out on the clock because it takes a minute. So trying to think of a solution for this. Me and my mentor just thought about it. What if we could sling it? Not only have it be, which would then, take time to sling it once it was unholstered. So we thought a little bit more and we're like, okay, but what about a single point sling? Could I have it slung well holstered? And then when I'm done shooting it, I just and it's clear, I just drop it and it's slung. So welcome today to my channel where I will continue to create the world's weirdest gun in my personal application to work at Caltech apparently. Where I will have a Glockenstock, a folding stocked pistol that can be both holstered and slung at the same time. Okay, we're setting up the new obstacle course for my for testing things, and I'm gonna test the Glock'nStock with the sling. Okay, so explain to me what your thoughts are for setting this up, like what I'm gonna do.
So you're gonna start out as if it was brutality stage.
Ah, sorry, I hit the thing.
And you're gonna get be prone. Obviously you can do this with a dead trigger. You don't need to be dry firing for the whole thing. But prone.
Prone here?
Yep. Make 2 hits, stand, drop mag, and get a high value.
Is that my archery target?
At that archery target, yes.
Okay, prone, 2 shots, stand, drop mag, high value target. You're okay dropping the mag on the concrete?
No, you stand, drop mag, high value target on the table, whatever. Then you're gonna run through here, negotiate, so these should not move or be bumped in any way. Get here, kneeling, 2 hits.
So, question, the design of this, the whole point is to test unholstering while it's slung, and then also carrying it slung and just stocked.
Yes, so that's why you're doing the high value target, because you can sling it or holster it to negotiate each subsequent.
Right, so should I start prone now, because I have to start holstered with it slung?
I was gonna have you start with shooting and then sling or holster and then.
Well, because the whole point is I want to see if I start holstered with it slung, does that is it weird to pull it out while it's holstered?
Well, you can skip the shooting from that.
No, I want to shoot from that, but I'm saying, can I start, instead of prone, can I take a shot, then prone, and then, start holstered, take the shot, prone?
Sure.
Okay.
So each position basically comes with an obstacle and a chance to shoot the gun empty.
Okay.
All right, so high value target here.
Okay.
Over this.
Oh, fun.
Then under this, and again, nothing should move. And then finale.
Okay. So, if I was swinging it, I was thinking like this. You're probably can't put in those.
Yeah, no, I'm just watching how you're swinging it.
Is it like this?
That would be one, and probably the way I would prefer to do it.
Okay, I'll do it.
You could also swing it just around your neck, or.
No, it can be a couple as well.
Okay.
Will you film from this side? Because then you have both sides.
Yep.
And you can just get flips or whatever from the front part.
Alright, you ready? On the count of beep. 1, 2, beep! It's that.
It's out of there.
Don't worry about it.
Well, I can't pull the cover up.
You don't need to.
Drop mag. I drop this.
Hang on, slam.
Oh.
back on target.
And I'll go
Then you go down, use the obstacle, that's it, use the barricade.
pew pew. Drop mag. Pew. Then
Back to slinging, pick up your gear,
slow.
and then you gotta ascend over the barricade, over the barricade, over the barricade.
Oh, over there.
Under the tunnel.
There's something there.
No, just under the tunnel, and then you come out of the tunnel to make the tunnel shot.
Pew.
There you go.
Okay. So, I'm gonna go closer to the other camera for a second.
Yep.
Okay, so the first issue, I know that fish nets are not tactical. I don't wear them during competition for a reason, because they're caught. The issue I noticed is it's very low,
Yep.
and it's whacking my knees because I'm short. So I think that tightening it a lot would be very helpful, so it's higher.
I have bad news.
Is it not tightenable?
Well,
It's tight as this cat gets.
yes, it's already tight. Like,
Okay, so I run into the issue again of gear not being made for small people with weird
Yes.
proportions. I do have very long legs and very small torso. And we were talking about this literally for filming for another video. My arms are weirdly long for my body. EBS is interesting. My body is weird. So basically, it works for the Glockenstock. It doesn't get in the way of me holstering. It just has the issues that I have with slinging on a single point,
right.
with it just being too long. I wonder if it could kind of work, but it won't on the Glockenstock. We'd have to add another piece to it.
Yeah, there'd have to be somewhere to attach it. I mean,
Yeah.
you could arrange it
But it would
there,
be more
but then it'd
fat.
be in the way, well, and then it would be in the way of holstering.
Right. Okay. So
So
if
the
I
reason-
could get a smaller sling, it would make sense, and it would probably help me with the issue of not necessarily being able to reholster it. And it would truly not just be in the category of, no, this is like every other PCC, but just weirder. It would be in the
Right.
category of, no, this is a stocked pistol. You can holster it, but it also is slung, which makes it truly the what I like of the in between, which is one of the reasons I really like this opposed to like the MP5 or whatever.
Is
Is
it-
it's truly tiny, as this it gives me all the benefits of the smallness of a pistol. I mean, it's Glock, so it's not small, but like the smallness of a pistol where carbines tend to be a little chunkier.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the PCCs, like the MP5 or the Scorpion, tend to be a lot bigger and chunkier and more rifle-y, which is harder on my body. Where this is, and then also has the benefit of being holsterable. But now with the sling, I get the benefits of the sling because I have the issues reholstering on the clock.
So where does it hang when you hang it from the sling? Because hypothetically,
On my knees.
right? Yeah. So what you would want, ideally,
Is it to be more on my
with a sling like this,
Mhm.
it and the way that you saw me using it with the B&T or with the Strabog rather,
yeah, more on my
CPB,
hip.
was that it was hanging at
Where you would
about
holster
the
it.
level of my hip where I would holster it.
Okay.
So I could basically just
So the
come
issue
up and
isn't
be off.
necessarily the idea of slinging a Glockenstock. The issue is size.
Yes.
For me, like of the sling.
Yes.
So basically, if I got a sling like that myself, not one I'm borrowing from
Well,
you,
not this, like,
and shorten it though.
yeah. What you would do is use this, but you would have to cut it down.
Yes. Welcome to my channel. I have to customize all my gear.
And
I still don't know how Russell got this belt to fit me. No gear is ever small enough for me.
I am assuming
I
that
could-
Russell either bribed a manufacturer or just happened to have the tools to cut it down.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I could make a bank. Just literally people sending me their gear for me to cut, like to resize.
Yes. So as you can sort of see,
Also
right,
can
this
you
has this big gridding stitch
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I can do that.
But if you wanted to take it out,
I know how to do that.
move that
Yeah.
like up,
Oh yeah, no, I know
you
how I would
could, you
resize
could
it.
cut it shorter.
Yeah.
Because this is extendable in its current configuration.
I would probably make it still extendable.
Yeah, if you left it extendable,
Because you see how this is here, sewn here?
Yep.
Right? I would unstitch this,
Yep.
pull it through more, but then let me see what this is like on this side. Can
oh,
you-
it's literally just,
No, that way, yes, but I'm saying, that makes it so that,
see,
yeah, so if I cut this, right,
yeah.
and then bring it down more here, it's still gonna be foldable and extendable. I basically am just using what it's designed as and cutting it down.
'Cause
Or I
this-
could do it down here.
And it's like, at this kind of extension, it's now too long for me.
Yeah, so if I make it shorter,
And it's
at
hanging
its,
down
at its
the bottom.
longest, it would still be short enough for you. Long enough for you, sorry.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Yes.
So at its shortest, it's the right height for you.
Right now, at its shortest, it's knee-sized, and I am not like
No, you're not
an
small.
elf, so
No, you're big.
this is
You're not
this
like
is
huge,
very,
but it's already kind of an absurdly long sling.
This is very clearly like a size range from normal to Mathos rather than
From normal to bunny.
from small to normal, or worse, from like small to large. It's like, no, this starts at normal and medium and goes all the way up to ant.
Yeah.
But
Which makes sense for deer. Like,
yes.
you know, people who shoot usually are.
The other thing when crawling is you can't generally just let the thing hang
That's
slung.
the other thing I was
You need to
about.
figure out how to hold it so that it doesn't drag in the dirt.
Which I can,
Because if it was
that's a
the-
whole other issue.
Yes, but if it was the woodland, but you should try that on this floor where it can't get muddy. Because if it was
For that,
woodland,
so
you would
stage
wind up with
designs
more
usually
obstruction.
think of that and don't make you carry things through the.
Woodland did.
So I'd have to figure out a way to like.
You just have to, while you're carrying the thing, either tuck the stock or the muzzle or something in the crook of your arm so that you can crawl. Okay.
I mean, when it's shorter too, it'll be easier, but.
I would not recommend
No, I know.
that. But like,
But yes, like keep it kind of in my arm.
yeah, just tuck it under your arm while you're crawling.
I
on
can
your
also kind
elbows.
of weave my arm through the stock to make it so short that it doesn't like I can kind of do this and like hold this,
So
like this with like, whatever I'm carrying.
what I would suggest is that you make several runs and film them and practice.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to start loading my shit into the truck because I gotta get there.
I'm interrupting the video to tell you really fast about my Patreon. Now, if you don't know, my channel is not monetized through YouTube and I don't do sponsorships. So this means that my only means of support for my channel is actually through my Patreon. There are multiple different levels with different types of extra content and perks that you can get, all starting at just $5. I would personally really appreciate if you joined it. I have trying to build a lovely community there and I would love to see you there. If you are not a fan of monthly subscriptions or just don't really want to do Patreon, that's totally fine. You can always support my channel by liking my videos, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Other ways you can support my channel, of course, is through my P.O. box. I have a tactical gear wish list, as well as always being open to messages. I think I have an Amazon wish list somewhere too if you want to get me something off of that. This shirt was off of that, which is lovely. I'm also always open to messages. If it's like, hey, I want to get you something for cosplay. There's some cosplay makeup I've been wanting, or there's tons of stuff. You're always welcome to message me. I have tons of social medias, which will be on screen now. So thank you. And please enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, so it's a few days later now, and I've detached the sling from the Glock'nStock so that I can shorten it. So I think from what I remember, we said that this fully shortened length is the longest it needs to be. So I am going to measure that and write that down so when I'm cutting things, I am, not fucking it up. Okay, this. Let's go over here and get my tailor's tape. Voila. Okay. So, at its longest, or let's start from here. Our sling needs to be 23.5 inches. Let's round that up to 24 inches. Okay, and I've written that down. Okay, so what this means is now I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to adjust this with the minimal amount of work and the maximum amount of not fucking this up. The minimal amount of work means that this is already sewn pretty securely and I don't want to fuck that up too badly. And also I have a lot of other shit to do, so. Let's take it out to its full length. So, I need to conceptualize what I want to do.
What's your favorite idea? Mine is being creative.
How do you get that idea?
I just try to think creatively. Now
Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is measure out at its full length 24 inches. And then that is how long it will need to be. 24. I'm going to put a pin in that literally, not figuratively. So I can know that is 24 inches. This is what I need at its maximum length it needs to be. So that means I have quite a bit to remove. I'm going to cut quite a bit extra just to leave some seam allowance. So when it's sewn back on, I can make sure it is nice and secure. Because I'm going to overlap it. We'll usually leave enough on this side for it to overlap. Okay. Let's cut. Let's just bring it closer so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. So I have this side, which doesn't have the adjustable side on it, so I'm going to cut it around here-ish. This gives me a good like 2-3 inches. Okay, and then when I overlap it here, let's put another pin to hold you in. And we measure again. Yes, this is the chaotic way of measuring. It is exactly 24 inches, but just we have added a little extra, so that's perfect. And that means that I can now trim this. This could go in my scraps. And all I have to do now is sew these to these. So what I'm a little bit nervous about is doing my sewing machine. It is a heavy duty sewing machine, but well, fuck it, let's try it. I have extra needles. Hopefully I won't break my sewing machine. Okay, since this is so thick, I'm not going to use pins. I'm going to use these little clips that I have. And I'm going to overlap it here. To hold it on. Like that. See, I overlapped it there, so it's like more seamless. And I'm just going to sew along there in an X. So let us get started with that. It's going to be a pretty simple and pretty fast process. And then I will be able to, I'll show you because I don't want to suck it up and then sew it. All right, sewing pretty good. Heavy duty sewing machine to the rescue. Lift up the foot, turn it around. On the foot again. Yes, I'm using white thread. This is the only thread I have that's kind of like nice and strong enough. I will deal with it. I might color it black with a Sharpie if I want to afterwards. So I made a square and I'm just going to go across it like an X just to add extra strength. And I'm going back across the bottom stitch to get to the other side of the edges. Which will also reinforce that bottom stitch. Okay. Okay, I just need to trim those threads more. That's voila. So let's get my scissors. And now, since we have these little fraying edges, I can burn them, but why not just, I'm gonna just serge over them. I'm gonna use an edge stitch that I usually like to use. This one's 0.8, and just do this one really fast. This also just adds extra security. And I'm just gonna go back like that then. I don't always do that, but because of this fabric, I'm going to. Okay, we did the edge, and now it's nice and neat. And now we have this little edge that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do another stitch, which is the same thing as the slug surface stitch I just did, but it's just on both sides. So I'm gonna go to 16. I'm just gonna flip around again. Again, I just really, this is weight bearing, so I really want all of that extra security that I can get. I don't want my bun falling off or this falling apart for safety reasons. And also because this fabric is super prone to fraying. So, if I was hand sewing it, I probably would have burned it and then gone over it with a zigzag. But since I'm machine sewing it, I could do this and this. Like being able to do that, and I'm really glad I know that the heavy duty sewing machine works with this now, because that will save me a lot of time and possibly money on buying new things when I can just adjust the way that they are. So I have this. I'm going to tighten it to see what length is comfortable for me. I'm going to start with it all tightened just because I know myself. And I'm going to attach it to our Glockenstock. And all the way tight is perfect. Look at that. Pew, 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 pew. And it's still now, when it's at full length, big enough for my mentor to use as well. I can also loosen this as if this is still a little too tight, but I'm glad it worked out. I am going to go over the white stitching with a Sharpie though, just because it's me and I want it to all look nice. So I will then show pictures at the end. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and look forward to more Glockenstock content because I have more ideas on how to make this gun even weirder. Bye!